Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cheesy E.
Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer doesn't show up for 5 minutes, you drink. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. And if White Sox Dave calls any of us by our real names or says he's the same height as Ice Cube, you drink.
Yes.
And remember, if you tip $1.08, we'll all drink. And since I'm guessing White Sox Sale paid $20 to not have My Sock Summer show up, that's off the table. But give us $100 total tonight, and we'll make My Sox Summer shave a mustache. I don't know if that's sanctioned, but why not?
Incredible. I hope it happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We don't know what's going to happen tonight.
I do have a quick question for you, though, Beef. What are you drinking?
Oh, chorizo, I'm back on the red wine train, baby. I went white wine last week. I'm back on the red wine. I'm just feeling it today, man. I had a brutal day at work, kind of plowing through shit, getting to a vacation. I'm on vacation now. Had to hit my rigatoni, got some red wine. I'm ready to go, baby. I'm feeling great. I got in that cold tub. My legs were still freezing like 20 minutes after I got out of the cold tub. It's time to hit the red wine, warm my ass up. How about you, Treasy? What do you drink?
So just the pasta alone didn't warm you up. You need the red wine, too. And the 90-degree heat, none of that. It's the red wine.
Cold tub froze me up. I got to get the red wine back in me, baby.
Well, Beef, I'm back on the Tecate train, man.
Oh,
I'm it's summertime out there. I need the summer beer. And speaking of summer, got my guy. My Sock Summer is finally here. My Sock Summer, what are you drinking?
Finally here. You can go.
It's 8:02. It's 8:02.
Badass self. You know what? You can go to hell.
He's angry.
It is 8:02. But you
I
know
should pay
what?
$5 to mute your fat ass.
I was. We haven't gotten to banter yet, so I'm not gonna go too long. But I am drinking the fabulous 312 Summer Shandy Grapefruit Edition. This shit is the bomb, and especially if you've been drinking in the park illegally with kids, you know, that just got done playing t-ball, drinking.
You're
some
drinking with t-ball kids?
Oh hell yeah! You know what? That's how we do it. That's how we do it. You know,
Oh no!
He didn't even put nothing.
You get one hit, you get a beer. You get 2 hits, you get a beer and a sidecar of whatever liquor you like. We had Malort and we had Fireball tonight, and the kids, they were looping that ball pretty good.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I'll tell
I
you
bet
what,
all the
MSS
Rollins on your team were hitting, I bet. I know those kids.
MSS, you're muted. Sally's already on you. So you have 5 minutes to sit.
Beef comment by Sal. Tell my Sox over to shut the fuck up.
While he's being quiet over there,
Yeah.
Beef, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I came to this, my banter tonight. I just wanted to make it short and sweet. I was going to get both your guys' opinions. I have to get my Sox Summers after he comes out of timeout here. I was just going to make 3 statements for you. Get your feedback on them, okay? Treasy, you ready for this? Statement number 1. Let's go. The Angels City Connect jerseys fucking suck.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, the thing that like annoyed me the most yesterday on the was whatever day it was on the broadcast was
Whatever day it was.
Benetti actually pointed out to Stoney, he's like, "Hey, what do you think about that diamond where their number is?" And I was like, "This is the worst thing that's on the jersey." And they're both like, "Love it." It looks like there was a hole in the jersey. And then they're like, we got to patch this thing over. Just put anything here. And it looked awful. Those jerseys did suck.
That was terrible. I couldn't understand it. And I saw some feedback on Twitter. It's like, oh, man, these jerseys are growing on me. And I'm thinking to myself, they're not growing on me. They stink. I would never put that jersey on. In fact, I'd be embarrassed out there. If that was my work uniform, I'd quit my job. That's how bad they are. They're horrible.
Here's what it was, Beef. Here's exactly what those jerseys were. You're a kid growing up in Anaheim. The Angels are your favorite team. You say, Mom, I want to dress as one of the Anaheim Angels for Halloween.
Yep.
Can I buy a jersey? And she says, nope, I'm gonna make you a jersey. That's what that jersey was. That's the homemade Angels jersey with red felt that your mom cut out of what was gonna be your stocking this Christmas.
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. Second statement for you, Treasy. And we'll get my Sox Summer's take when he gets back out of timeout. Toast with butter and brown sugar is a goat treat.
I've never had it. Never had it. Now, I will say toast with butter is definitely one of my top hangover foods.
Oh,
because when you're in that kind of leaving Las Vegas state where you're like, I'm not sure what I can actually eat. Can I stomach plain rice? Like the toast with just butter is a go-to. I know our guy backstage is thinking, man, I'm all about the McDonald's hash brown, but man, you got to involve other people in that scenario, and sometimes you just can't make it past the toaster. But yeah, I've never had it with additional brown sugar on it. Oh, I don't even know if there's brown sugar in my house, to be honest. But yeah, what do you eat this a lot?
Not a lot, but occasionally, and once in a while. And like last night, I was like, you know what? I'm going to line myself up. And that's what people were asking me about second dinner. But I had just had that as my dessert. And I'm not usually a dessert guy in general. I mean, if I go out to eat, if I want a steak dinner from someone and I'm going to go out to eat, we're going to have dessert. But like, generally, I'm not a dessert guy. But last night I was feeling a little bit rolling into the game, and I lined it up. So, Tracy, I'm going to make sure you have it pretty soon. I think you like brown sugar in general.
I'll give it a try. Cheers, fellas.
Oh yeah,
my Sox Summer. You could drink even though you're muted.
Appreciate you. Yep. Delicioso. I was going to ask you, Treasy, are you trying to out Mexican me with the Tecate thing? You're trying to show you're more Mexican than I am.
You know what, man? It's just if I'm going summer beer, it's probably top of my list. I think I'm pretty sure I drafted it. If I didn't, huge miss by me.
Shame on you. All right, and then my last statement is I will never contract COVID. Because I've been living in the house with people for COVID for a week.
Terrible.
And I haven't gotten it.
Terrible thing to say. Terrible thing to say.
That's horrible, huh?
I mean,
so you don't believe it? You think I will? You think I'm going to?
I'm not even a bad luck guy or superstitious guy. I would never fucking say that.
I'm a COVID ninja.
I hope you don't get it, man. I hope you stay.
The comments. It's coming for you tomorrow, Beef. Don't you say that, Tyler. Don't you say that. All right.
It just better not come. It just better not come for you right when we're going up to that Minnesota trip. By the way,
I know. I agree.
Tickets, we're down to like 50 tickets for that thing.
Yeah.
So you guys got to get out there and get those. You go to our site to just look for the Sox Machine from the 108 takeover. Tickets are there. I don't know how long they're going to be there. I have a feeling this thing's going to just like rapidly go. So everyone get out and get those tickets.
Absolutely.
Beef, we're running out of time here. Before we gotta talk to my Sox Summer. He's down to the 10-second countdown. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm Gucci, boys. I think it's time to bring my Sox Summer back in.
Jesus
here. Let's go.
Christ.
All right, my Sox Summer. What'd you think about that the Angels jersey?
Angels jersey, horrible. Like that made no sense. And like when I saw it and I was like, well, seems dumb. And then I was like, is this some like Asian thing that I'm not understanding? And then they're like, no, it's Route 66. And I was like, oh, yeah, I still don't get it. No, I don't get the whole thing. So yeah, no, that sucked. That was horrible. Brown sugar or sugar and cinnamon on toast or whatever. No, I don't. No, it's not really a treat. No, that's like what we would do when we didn't have donuts available. You're like, hey, you can have some cinnamon toast cinnamon toast, And then they made cinnamon toast crunch, and it's usually on sale at Costco, so that's much better, a lot easier. Just put it in a bowl. You don't got to worry about having 4 different ingredients and making sure that the mixture between the cinnamon and the sugar or the brown sugar, whatever, is fucking all dialed in. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But now, Loaf, I will say this: they do have butter sometimes that has that in there. Cut me a break here. Okay, you live in Texas. Jesus Christ. So anyway,
my Sox Summer's canceled. Some Asian thing.
I didn't know. I don't know. I thought it was. I was like, they're doing everything around the Pitzer guy. the Otani. So it's like, come on, man,
The pitcher guy.
they're doing something. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
stupid.
listen,
Oh,
they
my
don't know
goodness.
what their hometown is anyway. Is it Anaheim? Is it Los Angeles? We don't know. We don't even know what the hometown is. They were California for a long time. The whole state of California was their hometown jersey. So anyway,
They didn't even mention on the telecast that Reggie Jackson should be in jail still for trying to kill the Queen.
Oh, I
But
know. Yeah.
My
What a
Sox summer.
letdown.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. I think I wrote down. Oh, I didn't write any banter down. But I'll say this tonight. My daughter, the youngest one, is like finally starting to hit, like and throw and stuff. And I'm putting all my hopes on her. She's gonna be good. Like she can hit the ball. Oh, Loftus cough. He got the vid. Oh man, he got the COVID. He got it.
Yeah, that's my bro.
Fucked. So fucked. But no, she whooped the ball. Like she hits as hard as the boys, and she's just a little shit. So it was impressive. I was very impressed with her today. And it was just fun. It was our last one. And shout out to the team parents who don't give me that weird of looks when I say, yeah, we got to go because I have to record a podcast tonight. And they go like, huh? Who are you? Why does it matter when you record it? But they don't do that. And also shout out for getting Phil's Pizza to be the pizza tonight at
that is
the
good.
party versus
That's clutch.
shit ass Little Caesars. So I just had mushroom, sausage, and pepper, little Phil's, and it was just fucking goddamn amazing. I had two pieces.
Who paid for that, Phil's? I know it sure as fuck was not you. Who paid
Wasn't
for
me.
that shit?
No, for sure not. No, I would not. You know what? I would do that if you guys were all coming over, whatever. Kids party after the thing. Kids didn't eat it. It was the parents. It was a smart
parents
move
are
by their
smashing.
parents. Like I would not have thought that much for it. I was like, oh, it's the fucking kids. They're gonna eat the bullshit thing. And no, I need to.
White Sox Sal's right. You've moved on from Little Miss Shortstop. She's 6, and her athletic prowess is cooked. It's time to move on to the younger dog.
No, I'm just saying. I'm going to put my egg. If I could only put my eggs in one basket, I would put it on the little one. Just like never had anything, no training, nothing, and she knows how to hit the ball a hell of a lot better than the older one does. Although the other one hit live pitching tonight, which was great. So she's doing really good on the live pitching.
That's good. That's really good.
So anyway, all right, Chorizo, how are you?
I'm doing good. Beef, I wanted to talk to you specifically.
Oh, let's go,
because you've been gone a long time. Maybe no one went up there and told you. But there's a couple things I want to talk to you about this past weekend at the Sox games that you didn't get to go to.
I couldn't go. My house was everyone had tested positive except for me for COVID. I got to stay home just in case.
Coming soon.
Just in case I want to hand it around to everybody.
Gonna happen.
There's this awesome family sitting in front of us, and it was like it was the father, there's mom and dad, and then there's a young kid, and then there's a kid probably, I don't know, like 12, 13. I'm guessing that's the age. And he's sitting on the aisle. And you could tell that they're purposely sitting in the 108.
Okay.
Right? Like the dads turn around.
This was the intent. They wanted
chopping
to
it up a bit with us, he's saying hi and like this kind of stuff. The parents are definitely having some beers, which is good. You got to have a good time while you're out there.
Of course.
And our guy Luke is talking to Steve O, and Steve O is dressed like, I don't know, like he had to put all his clothes on to come out. So he and Luke is looking at him. He's like, dude, what's going on here? You got a jersey on, but you got the Hawaiian shirt underneath the jersey.
Yeah.
And this kid at the end just turns around to him. This kid turns around to Luke and just goes, "Welcome to the 108." And I was like, yes.
He dunked on Luke.
He dunked on Luke
He got
about the 108.
He dunked on him. The kid's nuts were on Luke's head about the 108. I love it. I absolutely love that. I need to meet this kid.
But even better. So later in the weekend, we're sitting there. I'm complaining about Gavin Sheets being in the lineup, and Gavin Sheets is up. And what does he do to shut me up? He hits a home run.
Yes.
Now, this home run was very close to us.
Yeah.
It actually landed like even with our row, but in the Miller Lite landing area.
Ooh, okay.
So my Sox Summer, who's sitting in your seat that day, he's on the aisle.
Don't fuck my seat up, all right? I know he lost weight, but don't fuck my seat up, my Sox Summer.
Seat's fine. He pops up. This thing's coming down. It lands next to this dude. This dude was uninterested.
Hands off.
Uninterested in it.
I don't blame
And
him.
it's rolling on the ground, and my Sox Summer sees it, and it was like a dog seeing a bone, but in like a place where he can't get to. And my Sox Summer he hesitates for a second, and then he goes, F it, I'm going for it. And he tries to dive over the the lake there, the little river.
The lake.
And he's just laying on top of it. He's just laying on top of it. And the poor red shirt usher guy is standing there not knowing what to do. He's just staring at My Sock Summer. Now, My Sock Summer does not have the ball. Someone else gets it. But My Sock Summer's also, now he's face into the river, possibly going to drown. It's like, I was worried. I was worried he was going to drown.
Yeah.
The red shirt pulls him out, saves his life. Right?
Incredible.
So
Incredible.
We get him back.
Bless them.
Unfortunately, none of this ended up on the telecast. And My Sock Summer almost lost his leg from the huge gash that he put into it, trying to climb over the 2-foot thing that separates our neighborhood from the nice neighborhood.
2 feet. Interesting.
I think he means 2 feet wide. No?
Yeah.
Oh, it's about 4 foot wide. It's wider than you think.
It felt well. Hey,
yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, if it were last year My Sock Summer, you would have
rolled down. I would have rolled down.
Instead, there were people gawking. They're like, look at this piece of meat.
I saw on the internet,
piece of meat sprawled out. I'm ready for it.
People were tweeting about it. I saw it on the internet, and there was a lot of laughing and hijinks, whatever. And only one thing came to my mind, Treasy, is like, I need you to weigh in on this. And, I'm willing to make an athletic move for the ball. Do I get that ball? Does the beef loaf get that ball?
No, you wouldn't have done it.
No. Here's why.
Okay.
You wouldn't have even gone for it.
Because it was already over, and it was rolling down the stairs kind of thing?
It's already over.
Yeah.
And, there's people coming for it at this point.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
I would have had it if I didn't.
Either way. I'm proud of My Sock Summer. I agree. I think you would have had it if you didn't hesitate. You did hesitate for just a second. You won't next time.
Yeah. I'm like, I shouldn't jump over this wall. Like, in the outfit. First of all, I can't jump over it, okay? So before you even say it, fuck you here. Don't say, oh, jump. You can't jump. But no, I was like, do I really want to, go 100% into this? And then I'm like, I don't. And then I was like, oh, shit, I do. And then I went, and then this motherfucker grabbed it, and I'm literally down, face over, and I'm just going. I yell at him. I go, you fucking serious? Like, to the dude that's stealing the ball from me. And but yeah, he got
My Sock Summer
is there, bro.
My Sock Summer is in the water yelling at this guy.
Are you
serious, you jerk?
Well, that's what
he was walking
kind of
through.
What I'm wondering, Treasy. I don't consider My Sock Summer athletic. I know he considers himself a fuck machine, kind of like how Wally Money is. But these guys, they're not athletes. They can't move. I mean, they can't jump and do stuff. That's why I was asking. But I'm impressed that you gave the effort there, My Sock Summer. You shed the weight. And now you're like, fuck it, I'm going for shit. I really like this. I'm impressed. Nice job.
I will
not
say,
an athlete. I like that you called me not an athlete.
I don't consider you one. You might have been one. I don't consider you one. I just don't know you as being an athlete at all.
Probably the most glory year guy out of here. You 100%, right?
Oh, I am for sure.
Definitely the biggest glory hog of us.
Very glory hog, glory year guy. Yes. Now, as far as
Treasy's more athletic than me when we were younger. He's just little like a bitch. I'm a big dude, so that's why I was able to play sports. That's all it is.
Going.
Can
somebody please give us $5 to mute this fat fuck?
No, I'll tell you what. Really. I'll tell you what it is, Beef. You and My Sock Summer, and I saw how he did it. I know you would have done it too. Dumbass face first move to try and reach it because you're so tall and long. You could have reached over. I would have known you just got to hop the fucking thing, and then you're in there. You knock the guy over, and then you grab the ball.
Now Treasy will knock a guy over.
I don't care how old he is.
So you will smash a bottle over, guys. No problem.
Hey, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I was there. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. But right now, I need My Sock Summer to pay some bills.
Let's do this. That's the wrong bumper, dude. That's cool.
Did you give me a new one?
Yeah, it's fresh print. There you go, buddy. Summertime in the city, and holy shit, it's still hot. If you're anything like me, that air conditioning has been running in your car for well over a week. And our good friends at Mazda from the Park want to remind you that if you need to take care of things that take care of you, like your air conditioning, Mazda of Orland Park wants you to stay very cool in the Chicago summer. So they're offering a top-of-the-line air conditioning service meant specifically for your Mazda. Their factory-trained technicians know everything about the air conditioning system in your Mazda and know how to properly maintain it. Is your air conditioning just blowing out hot air? Have you ever tried to defog your windshield but unable to? These are signs that your air conditioning needs to be serviced. You may need a simple air conditioning recharge, or you may need to have your cabin air filter replaced. Maybe you don't have any problems with your air conditioning yet. But do you want to be stuck in traffic when it starts to go out on a family vacation? That's why air conditioning maintenance is so important. It keeps your AC running like new. So head on over to www.mazdaofOrlandPark.com and book your next service appointment. Make sure you and your family stay cool all summer. And be sure to follow Mazda of Orland Park on Twitter @ZoomZoomNation as they give away tickets and parking to Sox games on the reg. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And now
Yes.
we're bringing in one of our probably one of the guys who's been on the show the most.
One of our oldest friends in Sox Twitter for sure.
Would love to welcome in the co-host of Redline Radio, Adam Engels, part-time hitting instructor, and every so often an actual cowboy from Barstool, Chicago. White Sox Dave, welcome, man. How you doing?
Look at
baby?
How we doing tonight? I love the USAC the Photoshop.
It's damn near perfect. That's great work by My Sox Summer. He's always thinking about that stuff.
Dave, real quick. So you overheard the story as we were talking of My Sox Summer going for the ball.
Yeah, I did.
Let's say you're in the beef loaf seat. You're in the aisle. The ball lands in the Miller Lite landing. What's your move to go over and get that ball?
I'm not moving an inch. Not a single fucking inch.
Attaboy.
I mean, you get like 2 steps to any direction, I feel like. And then if you catch it sweet. If it bounces, I'm out. I'm not fighting for shit.
You're not getting on the ground for a Gavin Sheets home run ball that you're going to lose.
It's a very important home run, and I can fucking hold that thing hostage. I'm sorry for swearing.
Oh no, it's welcome on this show.
I know.
She can't hear you.
She can't hear you. He's got the headphones.
He's muted. Okay. Jacob, drink. I said his name. If it was like the Barry Bonds 73, I'm holding that thing hostage for the highest bidder, and I'm throwing punches to get that ball. But a standard home run ball, Gavin Sheets, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, you're more likely to lose that than your phone, and that's saying something.
I haven't lost my phone since pre-pandemic.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you like do something new, like glue it to yourself or something?
It's embedded in his arm.
I don't go out as much anymore.
Little recall.
I used to go out a lot, and I would just wear hoodies in the winter because I would always lose my jacket too, like coats and stuff. And I'd be coming home at like 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever, and I would just put it in the hoodie pocket, and it would slide out into Ubers and stuff. And I wouldn't notice it until the next morning.
I got it.
I think that was what my downplay was.
My Sox Summer, I just want to let you know that Kier is hurt right now.
Oh, did we lose beef?
We lost him.
Sorry, I just turned some lights on.
No, it's more. We lost Beef Loaf midstream. I don't know what he's gonna say.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm
You're back.
Okay.
But we missed out on something that Kier was mad about, but that doesn't matter. We're gonna get into
fuck him.
What was he mad about?
He was mad because he was rooting for you, My Sox Summer. He put in the comments he was rooting for your new slim physique to get that ball, and you didn't get it.
Good. Yeah, good. Thanks.
All right.
Fuck you.
Let's get into a little White Sox talk here. And as you can tell, things are going smoothly for the White Sox. They just had a great road trip, and they're now on to San Francisco, where I can't imagine anything will go wrong. Dave, 2-part question for you. First, what have you been up to, and what is your emotional state with this team? AKA, are you enjoying the ride?
No. I was I was talking to someone, or I was talking to Chief. This was today, actually. We were going to get lunch today. This is early lunch. It was like 11 a.m. And we were just shooting the shit, walking down Belmont. And he's like, are you even having fun? I'm like, I'm not. There's nothing enjoyable about this team. Like, even in 2019, if you remember, that was the first time I went out to Fenway. They had a good series against Boston, and they were like 42-44 prior to the All-Star break. And it's like, this team is showing flashes. They weren't good yet because there was so much bad on the team, but it was really fun rooting for them because you could see what should have been down the road. This should be the best team they've ever had. in the franchise's history, and it could be with the just pure talent on the team, but this is not an easy team to root for. I mean, I think they're soft, top to bottom, 1 through 26, aside from Pito. And the manager doesn't make it easy. The quotes after games don't make it easy. It's not fun. It's really frustrating. Like, I don't even bother fucking like live tweeting games as much anymore because it's getting to the point where I'm just like apathetic, and I don't want to incite other people's emotion because then it just makes me all the more pissed off, you know? But so I'll like casually watch and just stew in anger.
It's wild to think, you know, a person who is so upfront and in everyone's face about like this is going to be a great team and this is so exciting, and now to see you at this point, it's obviously it's unfortunate.
Field day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yankees just fucking roasting me. I wake up and I'll see a dozen every day of Yankees fans just laughing at me.
I mean, you love their city, and you're so friendly about their city every time you're there. So, like, I mean, I can understand why, you know, maybe they want to get their cheap shots in.
You know what? Some of them are just lame comebacks, and it's always the Garrett Cole profile pictures that really bug me. But a lot of the Yankees fans are coming at me in like a fun way, and I like that kind of stuff. That's what makes it fun, you know. But
so
it
wasn't like the Houston fans that jumped all over me because I insinuated that Jose Altuve, although apparently according to every internet source and everyone that's ever been alive, never cheated. He didn't cheat. You know, okay? He told me he didn't cheat. And he was not mic'd up, when he was mic'd up, I said, "Oh, he's playing so casually with this microphone. It's like he's done it before." I mean, it's a bad joke on my end, and then I get roasted by these guys. But it's not like good roasting. It's like, "Oh, you guys cheated in 1917." It's like, well, that's stupid.
Right.
Cheated to lose, but okay. And then also the "shut up, you old," or "shut up, fat." Fuck you, fat. You know, and it's like, oh, what? I mean, come on.
That's our joke with you. They can't do that. They can't do that.
There was this kid that came at me, one of the kids that hates me because he thinks I'm Barstool's like Satan. I forget his name, but he covered basketball at Northwestern, and he came at me. And if you want to come at me like that, like I'll be relentless. But the fat jokes and you're short, you midget, like be better at insulting. You know, be better. Like be
great anymore.
Some originality for you.
Yeah, like when I say my Sox owner is not an athlete, he was not made out to be a varsity athlete. Everyone knows that, all right? I mean, that's a good way to come at someone. Dave, I'm feeling what you're saying right here, but for you, is it more like when you're watching a game, is it more like you're pissed off, you want to break some shit in the house, or is it more like fuck, this is so sad because this team should be good? You know,
it's two emotions. I'm embarrassed because like I have a national following now, and I've been talking up what this course should be right now for 5 years, 6 years. Right. And the internet doesn't forget, as you know. So people are like, you know, they're having a field day with it. And the other one, like, anger's too easy. We're all angry right now.
Right.
Like I would say disgust is more a specific descriptor. I'm disgusted with their offseason. They didn't address a single need they said they needed to address. Like Pollock, he had a couple hot streaks, whatever. He's got like a 550 OPS against right-handed pitching. It's more of the same. How do you keep going? And Josh Harrison, I know he's been good the last few weeks or whatever, but Josh Harrison, scrap heap pickup, hope he can be 2017 Josh Harrison. It's like they've done this for so long. How many times are you going to do it before you realize it doesn't work? Other than 2005, which was lightning in a bottle, you know?
Right.
Like you can't do that twice. It doesn't work.
Greg, thank you for the donation. We'll take a quick drink here. Keep going, Dave. Go for it, baby.
It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. And with everything Han has said very publicly, and I get shit on for this, and Rick Hahn, he deserves plenty of blame for this start to the season. It's not even to start, this halfway point of the season. But Jerry Reinsdorf, he had to have just yoinked the blanket from under him. I really think so, because he wouldn't have put himself in a position to just get completely shit on by saying, hey, we want to be a destination for blue chip free agents. We want to be a player for those big guys. We want to be X, Y, and Z. Like, he wouldn't have done that on my podcast, on other shows, on the radio, in like post Sox game interviews. Like, he wouldn't have done that.
But is it totally Jerry that like the Jerry thing? It doesn't make that much sense to me because like first, like this year, they're like top 10. I think they're like top 7 in payroll, right? They're at like 190 million. And then when you look back at like the Machado thing, like Jerry gave them the money. They just structured it all fucked up instead of just going, here's $300 million, right? Like they were like trying to save Jerry pennies at the end. And it was just like, why not just say, here's $300 million? Like, it just seemed like they were like fancy with it. And just like the money seemed to have been there. I don't get the idea that Jerry would have been like, here's 280 million, but we're not going to 300. Like, that just seems strange to me that would be the case.
That's a fair point, but there were very, 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 very clear holes to fill. And this was a historically good free agent class. And they signed Lurie fucking Garcia to a 3-year deal. Kendall Graveman to a 2 with an option, I think.
Yep.
No Kelly 2.
Yep.
And traded for AJ Pollock. And he said that they didn't pick up Rodon's qualifying offer because they didn't want a chance not being able to budget other needs. So
that was Kimbrel. Like they paid for the Kimbrel extension.
They picked up Kimbrel, which was very weird.
They could trade for AJ Pollock.
Right. Well, why not just spend $16 million that you would have had there on an outfielder? You would have got something better than Pollock. Like I don't get it. Like, the money seems to be there. I can't imagine that this is wholly Jerry just going like
the scouting. I mean, that's been an issue for years. They have been drafting much, actually, probably well. I haven't really looked that in depth, but it's just so much of the same, and it fucking sucks, man. It stinks.
Yeah.
The one thing.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, the one thing I've always heard about Jerry is that Jerry gives you enough rope to like go out and like do your thing, and then allows you to fail, and then we'll come in and clean it up. So I don't know what happened. And this is a theory that I floated by Loaf and other people. I was bracing it out last weekend. Jerry Krause talked Jerry Reinsdorf out of re-signing Pippen and Phil Jackson and Jordan. Like, he's talked him out of it. So like what I'm saying is I feel like Jerry can be moved. Like, if you have a compelling argument, because somehow Jerry Krause is like, this Tim Floyd guy is going to be fucking amazing. And he's like, sure, let's let the best coach go of the entire ever in the history of the NBA. Oh, sure, let's let Michael Jordan just walk away, like not even try to do it. And then I've heard other stories that like he did, but then he came to his senses and then he went back. I don't know. And then he also said that Michael Jordan said, oh, we can't do this again. I'm exhausted. It probably won't happen. But it's like he still was talked to by Jerry Krause saying, this is the future, where the future is Tim Floyd, and it was definitely not. Tim Floyd was not.
I just want to quickly thank and have a drink with my burner account here. Yo soy muy gordo.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mike Prasnowski just had a great little quote in the chat. That was a good one.
That's true.
Like that goes to your guys' points. I don't know what the right answer is. You guys could very well be right. I could be 100% wrong. I have no idea. But what I do know is it ain't working right now.
No.
Yeah, and Dave, you brought up a great point, though, to kind of start that was like, at the end of the offseason, all of us White Sox fans, no one was happy with what they did in the offseason. But we all kind of thought, okay, they didn't do it.
The division stinks.
That's right. They'll come through. They'll be fine. And then just a little bit of downturn of these guys. A couple guys not coming through. And a few guys having off years and some injuries. And next thing you know, we're in third fucking place. And everyone's pissed and more frustrated. I think I'm more frustrated. Like, watch them every night. Watch them on Tuesday night. And they score 11 runs. And they start hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And it's like, this is what this should look like. And then they come through Wednesday night. And then they lose. And they score 1 run on a wild pitch. They can't get anything going. Jose Abreu's 4 for 4, and no one else hits. It's like frustrating almost every night.
To me, it's disappointment. It's like just disappointment. Like I'm sure you guys say this to, at least my Sox Summer does all the time. like that. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's just kind of how I feel, because it's just like, in some respects, yeah, they didn't get the right free agents. They didn't fill the holes that they had to. They didn't, they spent money in weird places where I wouldn't expect them to spend money this offseason. There's a lot of that. I don't like, I didn't like the La Russa hire, but again, I was willing to go with it. Let's see what happens. The Pollock trade, I was like, if you're going to do the Kimbrel thing, that's like the max of what you could get. So, okay, fine. Let's do that. And then they still have enough talent to win this division easily, and they just are not doing it. And it's just, that's the thing that's disappointing to me. And Dave, you had a great blog today about firing Tony La Russa, and it's just like, I'm at the same point, I think, as you here, where it's just like, you can't cut everybody. So like, you've got to, like, what are you going to do? And it seems like, to me, the obvious move. Dave, where are you at with that, with La Russa, for those who didn't read the blog?
It's really bad. I mean, the infatuation with Lurie Garcia, and this is me defending Han because he's my best friend. Like, that's not the case. I'm trying to look at this from 30,000 feet and be as objective as possible when I say this. There is no way a Michigan, Harvard, and Northwestern educated lawyer that decided to give up all that law shit and go into baseball and have all these degrees and diplomas would say, oh, let's give Lurie Garcia a 3-year deal. There is no fucking way Rick Hahn was that dumb. That tells me he's a 1980s throwback Ozzie Guillen light slapdick hitter. It's had to have been Tony La Russa. He's got, there is a element of, you need to give your manager the team he wants, but Lurie Garcia for 3 years, and then he's hitting them leadoff, second, third. It's like, and how many times does he come up in either the first or middle third of the order, and it's like a pressure-packed clutch moment in the game, and he either strikes out by swinging at 3 or 4 pitches out of the zone or rolls over. It's like the roster or the lineup construction, and I hate bitching about lineups too, because if you're hitting, you're hitting, but put yourself in the best position to maximize the amount of runs you can score. It's very simple. Like, all of us assholes can read Fangraphs and all that shit, and put together a common sense lineup. And like
put the good hitters at the top and the bad hitters at the back. This way they can bunch some hits together.
They only one person can hit, and you got to start with someone. So you want the person that hits the best getting the most at bats. Isn't that common sense?
You would think.
Science. One good thing about this, though, I'm going to be honest with you. One good thing about the way the White Sox are playing, I hope it's teasing it out of our fan base, is that small ball fucking sucks. Okay, part of the reason why it's not working is that you don't hit the ball to the ballpark. You hit nothing but singles, and it's hard to string enough singles together to win games these days. You just can't do it, and so I hope it's teasing it out of our fan base. It's brutal to watch. And when they do hit home runs, it's like, oh, it covers up all these other mistakes. Yeah, because you got to hit home runs in this current team. And I agree with you, Dave. That's why it seems like Lurie Garcia ends up in these spots, because no one's hitting for power. No one's hitting the ball to the ballpark and cleaning the bases up. No one's hitting that 3-run homer that's like, oh, okay, Lurie's up now, but it's 2 outs, there's no one on, and we're up 6-2. We're down 2-1, and we got runners on base because no one's driving the ball in the ballpark. And even my guy, Jose Abreu, who's playing great lately and had 4 hits last night, even he's not hitting for much power. And I have to believe it has something to do with his hip, his injury. And these guys are banged up, but regardless, they need someone to knock the ball out of the fucking park.
Beef, that's a great person to point out there is Jose Abreu, because last night he had 4 hits.
Yeah.
4 hits. And the only way they scored was a wild pitch.
Exactly.
What is your offense doing when that's the case? It's unreal.
It's pathetic.
So speaking of, people that we're pissed off at and things like this, we're gonna go around and we're gonna tell who's on our shit list, and this could be anyone, coach, front office, player, whoever you want it to be. Dave, we'll start with you. Who's on your shit list right now?
Tony La Russa is number 1, and it's taken me a long time to get there, but like, they started late this year. Like, by like May 15th, I was like, this is fucking bullshit, man. Like, he was force fed on. I mean, there's another quote that Han said, like, "Hey, we're looking for like a young, energetic, analytical guy to replace Ricky Renteria," and then you go get an old, like 1980s doesn't care about math, like over the hill has been, and it sucks because he is a Hall of Famer, and he's third all time in wins, 3 World Series. Like he should be in the Hall of Fame, but. I mean, you got to learn when enough's enough, you know?
Yeah, and when it's not for you anymore. When the game's kind of it's not the game that you know.
Onto this team, and I know I know plenty of the players at this point, and all of them, they say a lot of stuff to me they shouldn't. I'll say that, and I'm not going to say it publicly in any fucking manner. But
read the text, please.
They defend Tony La Russa. They're like, dude, this is not on Tony La Russa. This is on us. And I like that about them. They're holding themselves accountable, but it's like he's supposed to be this like tactician genius, and he has caused more losses than a manager should. Like directly attributed to him doing something fucking stupid, it happens way too frequently. Way too frequently.
Yeah, I was telling Treasy before we all got on here, we were talking about Tony a little bit, and I was like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, well, Tony's supposed to be an advantage to us. He's supposed to be a tactical advantage. He is not, and at best, I think he's in the kind of the bottom of the bell curve of the average managers at this point in his career, and he may be one of the worst ones. I don't know, but just from the stuff you see it night to night, it's like this inexplicable shit, you know, like things you're like, wow, why do that? Like that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Dave, to bring in your point about the players though, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. Like you see it out there and the players do defend Tony. I actually think that's reasonable. And I think the reason it is because, you know, Tony's a legend. These are baseball players. They're all baseball nerds. I'm sure they fucking love Tony. In their heart, they're like, oh man, I get to be with Tony La Russa here. He's Tony fucking La Russa. You know, so I'm sure they do have good feelings towards him, even if they're like day to day, like, fuck, I don't like the boss's choice right here. So I think there is kind of this, you know, this confluence here where like they like him, but they know he's kind of sabotaging the deal for them.
So did they say that about Joe Madden too? That the Cubs won the World Series in spite of Joe Madden? And I think that says something like that could be just, you know, put in here too. The players could play a hell of a lot better and outperform any bad decision that Tony La Russa could make on that field. Honestly, I mean, if they were up 8 runs and we could still give up 7 in the bullpen and we'd be fine. You know, like if he makes a bad call or bad person in there. But I think that's, I don't know. I mean, I'm with Dave. Like and you guys were all the same. We kind of gave him a chance.
Let me hit that comment. Pull that comment back up. It says, are we sure about that beef? No, we're not sure about that. But thinking about it logically, just because you and I hate Tony doesn't mean those guys hate Tony. They probably like Tony because Tony's like a baseball legend. So it makes sense that they would like him. Think about anyone who's a legend in whatever you do or someone that is looked up to in whatever you do. And maybe they don't have their fastball anymore. You probably still like them, maybe admire them a little bit, even if they're kind of fucking with you. So, like, it's a double-edged sword of, like, I don't, like, when I see the quotes out there, people dogging Abreu's, like, Abreu had nice things to say about him. You know, I think probably these guys do like him in some way, shape, or form. And maybe he does relate fine to these guys. He just stinks at making the actual decisions, and that's a big problem for this group.
Well, it's also weird, though, like, right, because the things that we can complain about, they can't complain about, right? Like, because think about it this way.
Well, they can, but they can't publicly, right?
Right,
you know, you can't say, "Oh, this guy sucks. They should have put that other guy in."
Yes,
thing,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, these guys, a lot of them have been on a team with Lurie Garcia for a long time. So, are they going to be the ones to come out and be like, you know what? They should have pinch hit for that guy. He can't fucking hit. Like, you can't say that.
I'll say this. I texted one of the players, immediately after that signing. There was steam coming out of my fucking ears, and I said something like, "I hate your fucking owner." And it was something like that. And he said, he like laughed. He's like, ha, ha, ha. He's like, dude, he's great in the clubhouse. He's a great bridge from the English-speaking players to the Latin, Spanish-speaking players, like all that stuff. He's like, don't worry about this. This is fine. So
he loves red wine.
He loves baseball. Okay.
It was fine. It was fine until he became an everyday player. And then it became a lot less fine.
No, that is exactly what I responded with. I'm like, it would be fine if he was the 26th man on the player. That's going to be your fucking starting second baseman.
Yeah.
And it should have been Danny Mendick, Rami Gonzalez, Yolbert, And fine, even re-sign Lurie for a 1-year deal for $1 million or $2 or whatever, and let them duke it out and may the best man win.
Yeah,
and
see who wins.
Like if Lurie was signed to a 1-year cheap deal, he'd been fucking gonzo already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, he would be on the street right now.
That was another thing with La Russa, though, especially. I'm sorry, Chirizi, but that I thought Jerry Reinsdorf, even though he placed this guy into that job, he was going to give him the resources that he needed and give him the money and give him the blank check and say, get what you need, get what we want. So
I think he did.
Well, and if
that's
did,
what he wanted.
That's the craziest fucking thing ever. Like it just, I mean, we all know this hasn't been enough, so that's kind of depressing.
So I'm who's on your shit list, buddy?
So like I was going through this, I'm like, who do I want to pick? So I had some pitchers. I was thinking, I was like, yeah, well, but pitching has been like okay. Lucas Giolito has kind of come around in the last start.
Game.
Like he's been better. Yeah. So I was like, I can't just like go right at him. Especially because he's good friends with Dave, and I know Dave would start coming at me.
No, Gio would be the first to admit he's been complete dog shit.
It's been bad, but
now, MSS Rick Giolito would dunk the.
He would probably kill me
all over Twitter. Yeah,
yeah, I know. Rick, I know. I hope Rick doesn't show up in the comments and gets me. But so I'm going from the hitters. I'm like, who are my hitters that I'm going to go out there? I was like, there's too many guys here underperforming. I'm on the shit list is our entire lineup is on my shit list because these guys should be hitting, they should be scoring runs, they should be like mashing the ball, they should be doing everything that they are not doing. They were set up to hit and score runs, and they're doing neither. Like it's just not happening, and that's so frustrating. Like I don't want a Yohan Moncada to be like every sixth game that he plays, when he's not hurt, have like a good game. I need him to have a consistently good game. Luis Robert is probably the best out of them besides Jose Abreu. And Jose Abreu is like going downhill. Like we know he's going down. He's old, okay? There's no reason for Luis Robert not to have 10, 11 home runs right now. There's no reason for Andrew Vaughn not to have 11 home runs right now. Like these guys should be double digits. They should be up there. We shouldn't have to depend. What we should be having right now is Jake Berger's 9 home runs should be, or 8 home runs, whatever it is. I think it's 8. Like those 8 home runs should be a bonus. This should be our Dan Paulson, right?
Oh, yeah,
he should be. Oh, hey, we got lucky with this guy. He's hitting some home runs. Eloy's out, or whoever's out. When we're getting some home runs. This should be our bonus 8 runs.
Dude,
we shouldn't be counting on this guy to hit a home run.
Nailed it. Like if you in 2016 or more 2015 with the Cubs, it's like every fucking time, like they had their vets, and they made the run to the NLCS that year, obviously. But it seemed like every time they were calling up a new player, that guy was like the bonus 8 or 10 or 12 home runs,
Yeah.
Like you said, but they already had all the good stuff going anyways. And then obviously 2016 happened. But he's second on the team in fucking bombs.
It's ridiculous.
Third of the season?
Right.
Yeah. He's played so much less than everybody else, and that's where he's at. My successor, though, I heard you loud and clear. Because you brought up Moncada first. That's who you were thinking about. You didn't want to call someone out, especially a fellow Hooters lover. You were like, I don't want to call him out for that. I want to eat hot wings. I would eat hot wings in a jumper with him sometime, so I'm not going to call him up. But that's who you're calling out. Yeah. I'm giving you Moncada on who's on your shit list.
Don't be a
I'm a wings and rings guy.
Guy. That's true.
You
got
not a Hooters guy.
Maybe you'll bring Moncada over to that after he starts hitting beef. Who's on your shit list?
Man, this was a tough one because I was with MSS. I was looking down all these players and everything. But for me, and I know the man just won me a fucking steak, but AJ Pollock is on my shit list. All right, I know Josh Nelson's got to buy me a steak because this guy has sucked. But oh my God, has he been bad? He has sucked, and his defense has been atrocious too. You see the other night on Tuesday night when he jumped up there for that ball and missed it because it went behind him. It's like Helen Keller's playing left field out there. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He's producing terrible at bats. He's hitting tons of pop ups. He can't hit right-handed pitching at all. I think Dave brought that up early in the show. Just like he's a nothing against right-handed pitching. He's
supposed to have the reverse splits. He's supposed to have the reverse split.
He's supposed to be a quality hitter against right-handed pitching. He's just like a non-solution. I said it earlier in the year, and half joking on this podcast, I would rather still have Craig Kimbrell over AJ Pollock when he was struggling at the beginning of the year. I'm starting to think about that again. And Kimbrell's been bad, but so is Pollock. And Pollock is horrible. I mean, the only reason I'm happy he's on the roster is because Engel's hurt right now and Eloy's hurt right now, and we're just out of bodies. But he's been so bad, and like he was supposed to come over here and just be like a league average type player, and he's stunk, and he's particularly stunk on defense for a team that really just needs competent outfielders like him. We know in one of the spots we're going to be putting a guy who stinks in the outfield, right? We know it's going to be Sheets or Vaughn or Eloy when he comes back, guys that aren't really good outfielders. We need that other outfield position to just be a dependable guy. And AJ Pollock has been horrible, and he's really pissing me off right now. And I was watching the Sox Machine live stream before this, and they were talking about maybe they could trade him. I don't think they could trade him. He stinks. Who the fuck would want him? Who wants him on the roster? Like, he's not going anywhere. He's going to suck here for us unless he turns it around.
I saw somebody
you jumped ahead to my next segment, who I was going to pick, but we'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead, my Sox Summer. Sorry.
No, I saw somebody today in this the White Sox thread that Chuck Naso or White Sox room that Chuck Naso set up for all of his fans. Somebody was like, "Is now the time to trade Moncada?" And like, I was like, "What? Why would you trade Moncada right now? You can't trade him for anything. He's a fucking bum.
He's expensive as shit.
It's like what
next year?
Who's gonna?
He's making
him?
over the next 2 years. He will make $42 million.
This guy's like
ridiculous.
25, but yeah, he's expensive now.
Let's bundle with Micker and a fucking what's the other guy that everybody likes? The little
Blake Rutherford.
Yeah,
No one wants
yeah.
Moncada. No one's going to trade for Moncada right now.
Ridiculous. All right,
Yeah.
sorry,
He's
cheesy.
fucking dog
A
shit.
bunch of guys are untradeable right now. I'm gonna take someone. I'm gonna put someone on my shit list that I think is a very good player, and I love this guy, and this is why he's on my shit list. Luis Robert. Luis Robert is swinging at so much shit out of the zone. It's unreal, and he's like, and because of it, his contact has gotten so bad that he's hitting like 50% ground balls this year, which is the exact opposite of what you need Luis Robert to do. You need Luis Robert to put that ball in the air and drive it far. We've seen him do it a few times recently. Like, that's what we need out of him. He can't just swing at fucking everything, man. It's like, it's unbelievable how few pitches he's taking. Like, you got to really throw a ball to get him to not swing. It's Javi Baez-esque. And when you get into that kind of thing, you make my shit list. Sorry.
Treasy, the first at bat on Tuesday night, and this is before it because he had the homer later on in the game. I put the GIF up there in a tweet of 50 Cent, the first pitch that 50 Cent threw out. It's like, he would swing at this shit right now because that's what it feels like. Every slider that's a foot off the plate that nearly bounces in the other batter's box, he's fucking swinging at it. It's unbelievable.
Only Vlad Sr. can hit that pitch.
And 50 is second to Wally Money in worst first pitch history.
There it is. There it is.
I had a bad one too.
Incredible.
It's bad, right? It's not easy.
But Wally's a liability, and that's the difference. So
My Sox Summer, you're not athletic. That's why you couldn't throw a first pitch.
let's
Thank you.
You don't have the makings of a varsity athlete. I'm sorry.
let's talk. Now we talked who's on our shit list. Let's talk who needs a kick in the ass. Dave, who needs a kick in the ass on this team?
Moncada. That's, I think, the easiest answer ever. He needs a kick in the ass. Like, the last couple of games, and people shit on me for this, and La Russa had the exact same quote, but I think you can't always be results-oriented in baseball. For instance, you put 3-4 awesome passes on a ball and hit 3 ropes right at people. That's baseball, you know, to make it a very simple what I'm trying to say. But dude, has he been horrific. And even like last year when people were bitching about him when he wasn't superstar Moncada from 2019, and I throw 2020 away for pretty much everybody. Yeah. But even last year, like people were bitching about him. He was still walking a shit ton. Right. He doesn't even do that anymore. And that's like when he came back from whatever it was he hurt, that's what was going to be the most welcome addition to the lineup because they weren't walking at all at the time. Mm. You know, nobody was outside of Abreu, and he's not walking. He's striking out at 30-some% clip. I'm sure. I haven't even looked because I'll just puke all over my keyboard. He needs to be better, dude. All these guys just need to be better. Like dig deep and grab your nutsacks and be better. And I think like I when I was watching him in his ascension. And I've talked about this on your guys' show plenty of times. Like, I don't know all the stats, and I can't even pronounce half of them. I can look at what a player's doing mechanically because it has been taught to me from professional baseball guys, you know? Yeah. And it's me regurgitating what I've been taught. It's not me just, like, seeing it and knowing it, And I thought he was going to be a fucking freak, and he has just gotten worse and worse and worse, and he doesn't look like he gives a shit, and I'm sure he does. I don't know if he does or not, but the body language isn't always good. He needs to get an ass kicking. Like a Brave should just whoop his ass
with a bat.
I kind of wonder that about Abreu. Like, we consider Pete, though, he's the dad, he's the leader, but do you think he's not an aggressive enough leader sometimes when they need it? Like, sometimes these guys need a kick in the ass, and he should be doing it, no?
Face. I think it was Robert's face the other night. Maybe like a week or 10 days ago. I forget the exact situation, but there was like a real quick pan over, and Abreu was chewing Robert out for something. I don't know exactly what. He wasn't running down the line or something. Maybe they even said it on the broadcast.
They were told finally got hit his limit, and he's just like, "Fuck! I gotta. You kids have asked if we're there yet. Enough. We're pulling over.
I won't pull this car over." Treasy, before we move on, I just want to cite that White Sox Dave is a genius because Yoel Moncada's strikeout rate right now 29.5%, rounded to 30%, and he has a career low 4.9% walk rate. So just there you go.
Well done.
Moving along.
Well done. I'm going to go to myself next because I already alluded to who it is, and we don't need to talk about it for very long. But it's AJ Pollock, and AJ Pollock, Beef, you touched on it. I don't even give a shit if he hits. Like, be good enough that Gavin Sheets doesn't play right field. Like, how are you not? They traded for you when Eloy and Vaughn were healthy, right? So you were supposed to be in right field. You can't beat Gavin Sheets out for that role. Gavin Sheets is goddamn linebacker. He wears pads in the field. Like, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to be the better right fielder. And, like, I don't care how shitty your arm is. Like, you should be able to cover more ground. You should make yourself the right fielder. The fact that Adam Engel was able to do that until he got hurt and AJ Pollock can't, what are you here for then? Why are you here? You need the Bobs to come in and go, what exactly do you do here?
I think he's got a $5 million buyout next year too. So that's $5 million. They're just gonna fucking unzip the pants.
Well, it's 10. It's 10 for he has a player option where he could say, "I'll stay for 10 or I'll take 5." But he's obviously going to take 5 because someone else will pay him, $6-7 million to be a fourth outfielder.
Yeah, be a backup versus hey, we're depending on you.
We traded a closer for you.
The defensive thing is so fucking upsetting, though, Treasy. You're right, because what the fuck is going on out there? Just watching him play defense is so frustrating. And I thought, okay, all right, he's 34 years old.
He played like half his career as a center fielder.
Maybe he's losing a step or whatever. And I know his sprint speed went down last year, so I just checked it right now. He still has above average sprint speed. Is this just I don't give a fuck, or can he not see anymore? What the fuck is going on out there?
Maybe they need to get him like the glasses like they gave Benny Snake Eyes Williams in where it's just like the huge Coke bottle glasses. Like, put those on that motherfucker. Have him out there. Maybe he'll fucking catch it. I don't know.
Maybe the clubhouse has black mold. Maybe all our guys have got pores in them or something. They're just unhealthy. Like, that's why it's going. I don't know. I should write that blog.
Who needs a kick in the ass or possibly treatment for black mold?
All right, like at the risk of getting killed by Papa G, Lucas Giolito needs a big kick in the ass. And I'm a stat guy, just like White Sox Dave. I know a lot of numbers. We're definitely the numbers guys on our respective podcasts. But he has the second to last ERA on the entire team of pitchers. Like, I mean, it's bad. The worst is Dallas Keuchel, and he's not on the team anymore. So it's not good. He needs to just get better and start striking guys out. Like, I don't know what's changed. And I don't know.
His mechanics are all out of whack right now.
It seems weird, right?
He's not repeating his delivery like he used to. Like in the 2020 playoff game, you remember when he had that picture that went kind of viral?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Undertaker pick.
That because everybody's bitching about his slider use right now, and rightfully so because it sucked. Yeah. But in that playoff game, I think he had like 13 strikeouts in that playoff game, right? Against Oakland.
Yeah, he dominated.
Dude, his fastball slider, changeup slotting was perfection. It was pinpoint. And he would make that little slide piece just dive 3-4 inches off the plate, look like a fastball until the 59th foot or whatever, and it's a swing and a miss. But his mechanics right now, like you can see him, and Lucas Giolito, he gets emotional on the mound. So when things don't start going his way, he doesn't channel it well all the time. His mechanics get all sorts out of whack. He starts getting in his head. He needs to just calm the fuck down because we have seen him do this already. I've said this on my podcast a bunch of times. The stupid fucking commercial they shove down your throat 10 times a game. Lucas Giolito, worst pitcher in baseball. You know, that's in him, and I know from asking him and other people, he's working his dick off to get back there, and I am fully 100% positive he will get back there. These guys need to go deeper into games too, though. Like you can't have 5-6 inning because I mean the bullpen's depleted. No bummer. Yeah. Graveman can't go 2 days in a row. Seems like
Kelly's still hurt.
Fucking Kelly.
Kelly sucks.
And who are your guys going deepest right now? Cueto and Kopech. I mean,
Ronnie,
and the guys that we didn't expect to go deep. You know, you're just like, these guys weren't supposed to go deep. You know,
every single pitcher on the White Sox staff should be like Clockwork Orange, like eyes glued open with the little plier things.
Yeah.
Looking at how Johnny Cueto pitches. I hadn't watched him really pitch on the West Coast the last couple of years. I just figured that was another bum-ass scrap heap pickup. He works fast. He throws 4 strikes with 4 different pitches. He keeps hitters off balance in spite of a lack of exceptional shit. And he's got the worst shit on the staff by far, but he's by far and away the best pitcher in the staff because he works like an ace should.
He's a pitcher, though, and these guys can't recreate that. He's got all the pitches, like you mentioned. He could throw 5 pitches for strikes. He also has the windups that he mixes up with. He just knows, he understands, here's the hitter's weakness. I'm going to do that. Not, I got to execute my pitch. You know, I feel like our younger guys is more like, I got to execute my pitch. Johnny's like, whatever makes the hitter uncomfortable is the shit I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck with that guy who's batting right now, and he's very successful at it.
Love that.
He's more Mitch Williams than he is Greg Maddux. You know, he's not in their head. He's just like, I'm going to fucking do what I can to get you reverse.
Cueto's very interesting to me because, Dave, to your earlier point about the mechanics, like it's wild to me that someone can mess with their own motion that much and then keep the mechanics intact to throw to the spots that he wants to throw.
Here's the thing.
It's amazing.
I'll explain that right now. We were talking about my Sox Summer's daughter's Little League games right now. One of the first things they teach you in any sport, basketball, wrestling, tennis, baseball, football if you're playing linebacker, getting that power position. He's doing all the wiggly shit, but in the end, he's compact and he's repeating. Like all that shit's just extra. It's for show. That's not part of the motion. Yeah. But when he gets like in his power position and starts accelerating downhill towards the hitter, that's when he's in his motion. He repeats it flawlessly. Lucas Giolito doesn't. One slot will be here, one will be here, one will be more short arm, like he's, you know, that made him who he was in the last few years. He's all out of whack. I didn't see a start the other night. It looked like he pitched better, but Johnny Cueto, like that's the guy they should be. I'm not saying do all the funky shit that he does, just how he attacks hitters. How he attacks hitters with full-on confidence in every single pitch.
Don't ride horses. Or go out clubbing with Mikado. Neither one of those two things can happen.
How dare you?
Beef, you're last. Who are you kicking in the ass?
I mean, Treasy boys, this pains me to say this because he's a player who's a lot of fun, and I like watching his fun. But you know what? It ain't time for fun no more. We got to get serious, and you got to get your fucking shit together, and I need you to come back from Charlotte right. So when you get back to Chicago, Eloy Jimenez, you need a goddamn kick in the ass. I know you like to have fun and you hi, mom, and all that, but fuck that shit, okay? This is not a music video we're doing here. We need you to hit home runs, and we need them right fucking away, all right? You're the guy who can save us. Like, when we're looking at it, they're not hitting home runs. I was going to write a blog about, like, comparing year over year. The key is Eloy. Eloy comes back, and he's 2020 Eloy. That snapped this team right back into shape, right? Because they'll hit enough home runs with him just hitting a bunch of home runs. He's the key to this thing right now. We're at a point where we have good hitters on the team. We got Pito, but he's not hitting home runs. I don't think Andrew Vaughn's ever going to be the 40 home run guy. He is what he is, but he's a very good hitter. You need one of them mashers in there, and it's Eloy. And I need Eloy to take everything seriously. Take your defense seriously. Do not fucking fall in the spider webs. That shit was funny in 2020. 2022, we got to lock it down, all right? We're down in the division by 6 games. We need you to take this shit seriously and get on a run here. This is the only way this is going to work. Like, I'm sort of grasping at straws, like having hope and everything, but it's really on Eloy. Yeah, I agree with Roxy. He's got to get to 74 home runs, Treasy, or at least the pace of 74 home runs.
Still in play.
Got to get on pace for a bunch of ding-dongs. This is the guy. I look at the roster and I think to myself, Luis could start hitting. Fuck that. We need Eloy to come back and hit the hell out of the ball and not to fuck up anywhere. He fucks up running. He fucks up out in the outfield. Cut all that shit out, Eloy. We need you serious, and we need you to take care of business here.
I love it. I do love that 74 is still in play. I will say, Beef, I don't know about kicking a guy in the ass who's had so many lower body injuries, but we'll let you get away with it this time. But we're gonna listen to you talk about YouTube for just a moment.
I put a sizable future on Eloy to lead the league in home runs.
Big comeback, Dave. Big comeback coming soon.
Second half.
Speaking of the second half, before we get into the second half of the show, Beef Loaf wants to tell you about YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on a live stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you've already subscribed and are watching the show, talking smack about MSS's internet and generally meat-gazing at Treasy E and I, please smash that like button in the face. If you are listening on the podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is the YouTube version of this show, come to youtube.com/FromThe108 and hit that subscribe button. Our previous goal was 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 1,100 plus. That's going to allow us to make minimum wage for about 1 hour per month if we do a full podcast schedule. You just can't beat that. So get your friends, your family, your dog, everyone to subscribe and allow the 108 to fulfill the dream of becoming YouTube thousandaires. I love you.
All right. We're going to get into some more White Sox talk, probably along the same lines. So, Dave, question to you.
Just makes you so mad.
What do we got to do to turn it around? What do the White Sox need to do to turn this ship around?
I don't want to say the season's dead because I don't think the Indians are going to hit. Well, they don't hit, really. The Twins... They can still win the division, but they're going to get fucking cream puffed in the playoffs again, and that's not what they're breaking promises with cream this roster. I was going to say that
you need to isolate that. I need that as a drop.
I will
cream pies.
I think James Fox is one of the smartest guys on Sox Twitter. I don't agree with everything he says by any means, but one thing that he was saying the other day is and it's going to be unpopular. Whatever the front office decides to do with Jose Abreu this offseason will tell you everything you need to know about what they are actually trying to do. He shouldn't be back on the team next year. It'd be an $18 million player again, probably. I'm sure they'd give him the same 1 to 2 year deal. And you can use that money elsewhere, but you have fucking 10 other guys that are cheap, that are just as Andrew Vaughn. There's your guy that should be at first base next year. 1,000%. Get him out of the outfield. He's a butcher out there. He should be your first baseman. He'll probably make $1 million next year, 1.5 whatever.
Yeah.
And go and get real players. Stop. But you can't.
Real players.
Do
Who's going to do it? Jose Abreu right now on this roster has
I'm not saying he's not
141 WRC plus. Who the fuck is going to replace that? And do you trust Rick Hahn to spend $18 million to replace that hitter?
I don't know.
Is my question.
It's going to be another pitcher.
This has been the. You know what? I'm going to stop you right here, Dave, because I like James Fox, but fuck that idea. Okay, I heard that idea in 2019, and guys like him were shitting on Abreu. He was like, this guy's been your best hitter this whole fucking time. I don't trust Hahn. I in theory, use the money for someone else, and Abreu will be 36 years old. But what the fuck? You better nail this. You better nail this if you don't bring him back.
Well, let's think about it. Let's go through the thought exercise here. Well, you put Eloy at DH, right? Because you're taking your DH out of the spot. So you're going to say
Andrew go to first.
Go to first. Eloy go to DH. Do you trust Rick Hahn to fill not one but 2 corner outfield positions?
No. I don't.
Because
Hold on, let's look at.
that's the ask.
And while we're waiting, you can easily replace Jose Abreu's name with Frank Thomas's name, and no one would everyone's like, oh, that was such a dumb move to him going out to Oakland, him going to whatever, because that was the same thing. You had guys waiting in the wings to come in. So if you're okay with Frank Thomas getting, jettisoned out and saying,
hey,
go
if
away,
we get Jim Thome, I'll be all right.
I'll take him.
Who would you rather have next year? 36-year-old Jose Abreu or 36-year-old Michael Brantley on this exact roster?
It's probably Abreu because
why? They need someone that can pound.
Brantley can't play the outfield, so you're just getting another DH. So
I'm just throwing out names. I just Googled the list. They need someone who can pound righties.
Yeah, they do.
Jock, he should have been on the team already, probably.
Yeah, right. And if you can get Jock, sure.
I just don't get why. Jock. I just don't get why it's an either or. Like they're spending 190 minutes. Don't get another fucking relief pitcher, man. Like play Eloy in the outfield. Like I don't get why Abreu's the bottleneck in any of this. He's the best guy.
The guy that's doing it. Get rid of him.
Well,
I think
it's showing these guys up.
With Abreu, he's going to be the most expensive of the options. So if you,
I mean, Yaz is making the most money right now. He ain't doing dick. I mean, I hear what you're saying there, Dave. But some of this to me is still sour grapes from screwing up that Jose Abreu's in regression in 2019, and they're holding on to the idea of I'll get it right now after 2022. Let's jettison him because now he's an old man or whatever. But we need to make sure we actually replace that production. I'm very worried about this. I said it coming in this year. Jose Abreu, the plan was not for Jose Abreu to be your best hitter in the 2022 season, right? No. That plan is fucked. He is their best hitter currently. He's an eyelash behind Tim in WRC plus, but he's played more games, so he's been more valuable with his bat than anybody on this roster currently. That's not the plan. They've screwed up the plan so far. He shouldn't be the best guy right now, and I'm nervous about them making him not here anymore and then find the new best guy.
I don't know. I think on paper, when James was I was talking about it a little bit on the side too. It made sense to me. They had all right. So the Orioles series, the Orioles basically beat the White Sox playing defense in that series. Their outfield defense was
terrific defense,
fucking tastic.
Yep.
The White Sox are the exact opposite. Pitchers don't back up fucking bases when balls are in play.
Right. They make a lot of mistakes on defense. Yeah.
Aside from, and I think obviously TA had a couple of just horrific games. He's been great at short. Robert's great. Ingles always great. He's a fourth, fifth guy though. I think their backup catching has been very good. But Harrison. But aside from that, it's very, very bad defensive players. And Makata hasn't hardly played at all. And you see Berger, he is not a third baseman.
He's rough.
People want to move him to fucking second,
No, that's not. No, thanks. I'll pass on that.
Hard pass, yeah.
You still see it though, even after watching him play third kind of bad. And, the guy can barely field third. Hey, he's a bad third baseman. We'll take the power kind of thing. And it's well, fuck it. Moncada's back. Move him to second. It's no, I don't want to see that.
No,
I mean, I would go the other way and say let's have Moncada play some games at second so Berger could get in lineup at third. But Moncada will definitely get hurt playing second. There's no doubt in my mind that everything's just going to fall apart.
You know what thought I had? I've had this thought for a while now. It's is there a reason why we can't move Moncada to right field? He's got a 70 arm. Couldn't he play right field and learn how to just trot around out there? And he's got speed too, and it's less demanding. If you could find a real third baseman that
collide and just their heads would explode.
that's the risk, right? They both get hurt colliding into each other.
There's been two comments that I've enjoyed in the comment section. One was from Harp. He's talking. He was bagging on Abreu and saying he's not hitting for power.
That's true.
He's not, but he's also in the third year of a 3-year deal, which included him winning the MVP. So like, yes, he's not worth the 18 million. He's getting paid this year or whatever it is.
He's 30. He is worth it. He's worth that money. Yeah.
But what I'm saying
he's
is
35 years old. Also, Andrew Vaughn's not hitting for power either. If you're considering Abreu not hitting for power, Andrew Vaughn has less home runs than him. I mean, like
no one on the team is hitting for power.
No, and that's
I'm pretty sure Abreu's leading the team in home runs, isn't he?
Yes,
he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He has the
So he's not hitting for power, but like you want to replace him with someone who's hitting for less power.
Again,
I like the thesis, but in practice, it's like a Yogi Berra thing. It's like in practice and in theory they're the same, but in practice, it's different. It is different in practice, right? When it actually happens, it's fucking different,
You said it, Loaf. He's not supposed to be your number 1 or number 2 guy. He
should be your 5th best hitter on this team.
Your 4th guy should be hitting 9 to 10 home runs by now, probably more, probably about 13. But your other guy should have 13 or 14 home runs too. That's where he should be slotted in. It's not necessarily Abreu's fault that he's, where he's at. He's probably where he should be. It's just it doesn't work out. And then the other one that I liked was from our guy Baloney talking about how Dave is in the Rick Hahn's pocket and how much trust that he has in Rick.
I am not in Rick Hahn's pocket. Like I said,
I don't think you are either. I just think it's funny that he said it. I know, but you do. You have a lot of trust in them.
I feel like that trust is eroded.
He's the only member of the front office to speak to the public, and he does a great job at that. Obviously, there's going to be bullshit GM speak in any interview he does, but it doesn't compute in my brain why he would say these things as the only member of the front office to speak to the public as much as he does. He speaks every homestand. He was on Shane's podcast. I listened to it this morning.
Yeah.
He does a ton of shit. Why would he put himself in a position to get – and he reads the internet. Everybody knows he's got the burner accounts. He's talked about them. He reads the internet, and he's just like all of us. You guys are kind of I'm a punchback guy. If someone punches me, I try to punch him harder, You guys have an awesome fan base for one, and don't get the kind of shit that I do, and I deserve a lot of that shit. But it's been made – for human beings to not want to just get shit on, that's
for sure.
It's in our blood, and I feel like he wouldn't have put himself in a position to get the shit he is unless something changed. I don't know what that was. Right. I think it was the Tony La Russa hiring, but I don't know what exactly it was that nothing's going like he said it was going to go.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense to me. That's why I have his back in that regard. That's not to say that he didn't fuck up this offseason, because he fucked it up horribly.
I was going to say, you've been critical of him. I don't get that thought process. Yes, he's been on your show. I thought, personally, for me, Dave, you've done the best interviews of Rick Hahn that I've heard, because you actually get him to say some shit. He bullshits everyone else, radio, all these other things. I don't hear a goddamn. I didn't hear Shane's podcast today, so in Shane's I heard it's good. I haven't listened to it yet, but for the most part, when he goes on radio, he don't say shit. He said shit on Redline Radio, like legitimate things. I thought, but you're quick to be critical, like you were to start the show, and like I've heard you be all this season about the offseason. So fuck that shit. You are critical when someone deserves it.
They get on me because, like, when I'm in the same room as him, which has only been probably a half dozen times in my life, it's not going to be like, hey, man, what the fuck was that move,
Yeah, you can't say that.
And I'm like, and I'll just say, all right, what happened with Machado, man,
There's a politeness to being with people.
Yes, there is a politeness. And also,
Dave,
the last time he was on Red Light Radio, you talked about me. So I appreciate you. I don't think you're in his pocket. You're your own man. Even though you could fit in his pocket, you are your own man. You are fine.
He's going for the midget
pounds.
I know you look good.
Good for you,
your
baby.
Face
nice.
Was really good, Dave.
Nice.
So, guys, we've only got a few minutes left with Dave here. So I want to.
No, he's good. He's going to hang out.
I'm good all night.
He's good. He's going to hang out. Yeah, he's going to hang out. So.
Well, we're still going to get to the next topic because I don't give a shit what you guys are talking about right now. So we're going to go around. We're going to have questions for Dave. Each of us have a question or two. I think I was initially thinking one, but if we got time, we'll do two. I'll kick it off. And Dave, my first question to you is: if we had Chief on the show tonight, do you think my sock summer would have been late?
Probably not. He's got a little man crush.
Incredible.
he loves you. He goes out of his way to every time like you guys have a tweet. He's like, I fucking love those guys. I wish there was Blackhawks guys like that.
My Sox Summer, start watching the Blackhawks.
Hey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Polish
get
Maxaroni
the
has been trying to get me to be a hockey guy for like 3 years. It still hasn't happened.
It's time, baby. Get it.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know.
Dude, I have watched as the biggest diehard fair weather fan, Blackhawks fan on earth when they were good. I watched a shit ton of hockey. That sport, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No.
Unless you're scoring a goal or like making a 6-save or pass, I'm like, I'm lost here.
Same.
Yeah.
No clue. I can't figure it out.
Loaf, go next.
All right, sounds good. I have a bunch of questions, and I also want to let the commenters know if you throw a good question in here, we might throw it up here for Dave if you got something fun or whatever. So my first question is this, Dave. I was recently listening to the Dog Walk Free Swim. I like the Dog Walk, Eddie, and so is you, Eddie, and Chief. You and Chief were talking about a secret restaurant you went to. I'm not trying to get you to divulge the restaurant. I have a separate question related to this.
I got
offline if you want to, and say you don't have to tell it on here. We could talk about it offline if you want. I don't want to blow up your spot because you just got hot. But I heard Chief say that he got up in the middle of the night after being in this restaurant. You guys were cocktailing a bunch, and he puked twice. So my question for you is Chief a fucking lightweight? What the fuck? What were you guys drinking?
So the place is called Schwa, SCHWA. I had never heard of it in my life. It's right off of like North Ave in Ashland, so it's very close to me.
Okay.
If you walk past it, you won't notice it. You sincerely will not notice it unless you're looking for it. It looks like a boarded up building. It holds maybe 12 or 14, 15 seats total.
Okay.
The kitchen is right on top of you, and there's no servers. The chef just brings out food to all the tables, and it's BYOB. So she and I, we had the same realtor when we bought our places back in the spring, and the best people, David Hochberg, and then like all on down the ladder through him. I'll give the free ad out. He's great. They take out their clients for congratulations dinners. So they took us to this place. It's a Michelin star rated restaurant. I didn't pay for a thing other than if you bring the kitchen staff a bottle of Jameson and a case of Miller Lite, they'll take care of you all night, and they'll like do it big for you. So we were the last people in, and the lady that brought us, our realtor, it was her husband, the guy that showed us to all the places. They brought stuff to make like actual cocktails. Like I was just gonna fucking pound booze, make vodka sodas or some shit. And then the kitchen staff started rolling blunts. And I don't really smoke weed hardly ever. But what am I going to do? Say no? So the entire table.
When in Rome, right? You got it.
Right.
Keith and I looked at each other and we're like, see you later. I'm off to Mars. And I was fucking obliterated from these guys. So that's the story. But the place is Schwa. It was one of the best dining experiences I've ever had in my life.
So Chief's not a lightweight.
No, he is the biggest lightweight. He
is.
He's a bad picture.
Yes, okay.
I look fucking like my brain's not on in the picture, and he went home and puked his guts out. He said, but I've seen him puke like dozens of times.
See?
Kindred spirits, my Sox Summer.
I was saying something we have in common. You
could get the love seat from SNL. You guys could both be puking at the same time.
Incredible.
Oh, got a cramp in the leg. Whoa. Good stuff.
MSS, do you have a cramp-related question, or are you going to ask something else?
I'm just trying not to cramp up. So, Dave, my first question is, when do we give up on this team? What is the date, time, record, which we need to pack it in and get ready for the disappointment that will be the Bears?
I think if they get 10 games down, dig a ditch and bury the bitch.
All right.
I mean, right now it's like getting towards danger zone where you don't want to be 8-9 games down, but 10 games, they're not coming back from a 10-game deficit. This team's not good enough. It's a flawed roster. The defense is fucking horrible. Fundamentally, they're bad. Their approaches at the plate, though they've got better month over month, are still not good. They can't hit right-handed pitching. Doesn't matter if it's fucking Doug Fister pitching. sit there and he'd spin a gem against them. I mean, I'm almost ready to hit the ejection button as we speak. I'm not quite there yet. We'll see. I'll give him to the deadline, I guess, a month.
Okay.
1 month.
And this is a
30
big
days,
month,
folks.
too. A lot of divisional games this month.
Yeah, no shit. Time to make up some ground.
So, Dave, it is 4th of July weekend. It's time to either hit the beach or hit some parties, get some fireworks going. Are you a fireworks guy? And also, if you're at the beach, if you're at the lake, whatever you're doing, what's the drink of choice? Yeah, and I know you got to, the Miller Lite thing, but like if there's no Miller Lite in sight, what's the drink of choice?
I've been hardcore vodka soda because I saw myself on camera a couple times in like March and April, and I was like, you got to lose weight. So I've been a monster on the Peloton, not to brag. And like I've been eating like half-assed healthy, like cutting out 50% of my bread intake.
It's great.
That kind of stuff. But the drink of choice, vodka soda. And as far as fireworks, now that I'm in the city, absolutely not. When I was a kid, my dad would drive us and get like $100 worth of fireworks in Gary or whatever, and we loved it.
Hell yeah.
I heard gunshots for the first time last night, actually.
See, that's what I was going to ask you too. Was it gunshots or was it?
It was
some fireworks?
1,000% gunshots, and I am completely drained right now. So this is almost exactly midnight. I'm in bed watching Always Sunny, and I'm like 3/4 of the way asleep. And when you kind of take that little 5-10 minute power nap, you're just like you re-energized. So I heard the shots, and it was 8 right in a row in succession. And I called the police immediately. I just heard gunshots. It sounded like about 300 feet away from me. And then 5 minutes later, I got the Citizen app. It's blowing up with gunshots. I don't know what happened with it. Not to make the podcast grim or anything, but it said a husband and a wife were arguing at the same spot.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, yikes.
But on the Citizen app, it said it happened like much farther away from me than I thought it was. So like a couple extra blocks.
So we always thought it was gangs, but it's mostly domestic violence in Chicago. That's all the gun-related violence. Good to know.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's what you get on the north side anyway.
So I'm just glad to hear that you're not going to Jason Pierre-Paul yourself now that you live in the city out of fear.
That's good to know.
I was trying to explain the fireworks of 4th of July to some of my coworkers that are like in Eastern Europe, and they were just like, how are fireworks illegal where you live, and then like 4 feet over they're not?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, don't think about it too much.
State rights, man. We want to talk
weird.
about guns and abortions and all that. We could do it.
This is how we do, yeah.
A couple changes coming soon too.
Across,
I bet
across that line, everything's different. It's very weird. Yeah, it's a weird lifestyle here.
All right, who's up? Beef? Let's get a beef question.
I would be happy to go again. So, the catfishing account that we talked about on Redline Radio, you thought it was us giving you some shit. I'm not going to name the account, but you know what? I can't find that account anymore. I think that account disappeared into thin air. Do you think it's gone, Dave? Did it disappear?
I haven't thought about that account since you guys.
I thought about it coming into the show, and I went looking, and I saw nothing. So I'm wondering if the catfishing account is gone.
Did it start with a K? Was it?
Yeah, it did start
with a K. Yeah.
I forgot that account existed, and probably until we talked about it on Redline when you guys came in.
I hadn't thought about it since, but like I went looking, and I tried a couple different things. No luck. So I'm guessing that account has once again morphed. It changes identities every so often, but it was in its best identity when it was at when it was the Kimmy K version of it. Exactly.
I still think Ken WO runs that account.
When I showed it to him when we were doing Redline Radio, the look on his face was, "Oh, I never heard of that account," but you kind of knew that he had heard of it. It might have been him. I think you're right, Tracy.
We outed
that's probably he probably got a new phone and can't figure out how to log back into it. That's probably the thing.
That's right. I'm guessing
potentially it was Sean the Bomb running the account.
Who is on Twitter are like the main culprits? Like I want to see what's the movie where they do the lineup?
It's not something.
Yeah,
Roxy, that could be true. I don't know.
Dave, the usual suspects where they make
the usual
where they make
suspect.
give me the keys,
Suspect,
cocksucker, motherfucker. Yeah, if we were gonna do that lineup, I mean, like, I think Ken W.O.'s definitely in that lineup.
Yeah, I think
he's too old and dumb. Yeah, he's too Luddite
he's too indebted
to
to his own shtick.
Yeah. I think it would be hard for him to
I would put Billy Wires in it, but he can't keep his own account active long enough to have a burner
Had a
account.
good streak, though.
It's
Had a good
gotta
streak.
be someone who's a little like, a little under the radar. Like our guy Kier could be a guy who would do some shit like that, and you would never know. He would be doing it.
Shy Sox fan Mike, maybe he's got a burner. He's blowing you up.
I mean, Shy Sox fan Mike isn't a burner already. I think that is.
No, I mean we've had him on.
We had him on. Yeah,
he's a good kid.
Jokes.
There's someone that if we like ran down through all the main players, not even like just everybody in White Sox Twitter, that we would land on and we'd be like, "Yep, that's them. That's them." There's someone out there like that.
We got to do it. We got to go all the way down the line and see who it could be.
We got to do a draft. We got to do a draft. Who's the burner blowing up White Sox Dave? We got to draft him, and then we'll put them all into the 108 tourney.
Vinny Priest's account is actually a burner. It's
no,
but it is him. So we met him.
That's what I was saying about Mike. Big deal. It's a burner account, but it's actually the person.
I'm pretty sure that there's an algorithm writes Vinny's articles, though. I'm almost positive.
It's just an algorithm.
I'm sorry, Dave. I cut you off.
No, I'm trying to think. Maybe Austin Zick.
100%. He would definitely do some shit like that. That is a good call right there.
Him and Sam together.
Yeah, him and Sam together, like just sitting there.
Sam had a burner account, or still has a burner account. It's one of the fake Bob Nightingales. I believe is Sam. So there's some fake.
Who's
ones
the fake?
I like this idea. Steve Stone is the
Steve Stone's just a reply guy. He's a huge reply guy. It's ridiculous.
Maybe he's a burner guy too.
I would love if he was catfishing Dave, though. That would be so funny. I got catfished by Steve Stone.
He blocked Dave, then he catfished him on the
side.
Incredible.
MSS, you got a question for Dave?
I got a question, and we'll keep it a little light. Dave, congratulations on losing the weight. You look great. Your face looks great. That was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, Dave.
It only took like 3-4 weeks, not in 3 weeks.
Because you weren't in bad shape to begin with.
Not to brag.
I was in bad shape. I was in bad shape.
Like, I love when people are like, "Oh, I was so fat. I was so fat. I had to wear an XL." It's like, fuck you. You had to wear an XL.
I'm short though. Like I shouldn't.
Cool,
I'm down to 194 right now. I got up to 214. I shouldn't be that fucking fat. I saw that there was a picture. I remember it was like a Tuesday night game. I came from my old job, like straight to the park. And we're all tailgating along the grassy knoll. And that was when I was in like marathon shape. And I'm like, you got to get at least somewhat in that, universe again.
Is that the picture? There's like 8 of us, right? Standing there. Is that the one? That's an old picture.
Bisson was there. I remember.
Johnny Nani. Matty Ice. Like there's.
Bisson is not holding a beer. Bisson is not having a beer.
Bisson's 11 years old in that picture. He has a beer in his hand.
He did not have 9 beers with us in the park.
I can't wait for 2 more years when he turns 21. It's like, I was in that picture in 2014.
He just turned 21, I think.
Oh, he just turned 21. Okay.
He did.
Yeah.
It was last summer.
I don't think Beer Garden Jim did this on purpose, but he nailed who the burner account is.
Yeah.
I saw Billick the other day. I was driving down Wallace, and he was at the Bridgeport Coffee House over there, and I beeped at him. And he like turned around like he didn't know what the fuck country he was in. Like he was like, "What?" And I was like, "No way, he knew it was me."
Did you tell him afterwards?
No, I haven't run into him since then. I'm leaving it out there. Next time I see him in person, I'm gonna say, "I beeped at you at that coffee house. Do you remember?" It's like, "What?"
He'll be like, "Who's this again?" Loaf. No, but anyway, Dave, good job with the weight.
Let's take this question.
Hey.
Let's take this question.
Okay, go ahead.
Dave, what do we do with my beloved Lurie legend?
We were talking prior to us all hitting record our favorite TV shows, which is like the most dude thing ever. Oh yeah, I love. If I were him, I would pull a Breaking Bad and send him to Belize. That was a joke. Not actually. Metaphorically. We can give his number to the vacuum repairman. Just like have him go live in like Omaha and spin Cinnabons at the mall or whatever.
Oh my God.
I like it.
Jesus.
I mean, I shit on Lurie, and I shouldn't do that because I don't like doing that. Baseball is insanely hard. It's such a hard sport. It's a game where you fail constantly. you fail and fail and fail some more. And Lurie Garcia is not penciling himself in the lineup where he's,
Right.
it's not his fault. It's just I can't. And he's the one that I really shit on the most, and it shouldn't be that because he shouldn't be in the position to fail like he does time and time again. And it's not his fault. But
everyone does. That's why I made the comparison in this podcast. It was probably 6 weeks ago. I said everyone's always crapping on Lurie Garcia. Imagine '90s Bulls if like all the '90s Bulls fans were fucking outraged and they were crapping on Cliff Levingston. It's like who gives a fuck? Like the good players are the ones who got to produce. This bench guy or this random guy is like a rotation guy. Who gives a fuck if he's good? Oh yeah, sometimes those guys stink, and that's the way I feel about Lurie. It's like he sucks. Admittedly, like he hasn't been good. But, the real guys should pick up the fucking slack here is my personal opinion on it. Like, what the fuck?
Can I have my question now, or are we?
Anytime you want, buddy.
All right, cool. That'd be awesome. Hey, how's Eddie's weight loss going? How's he doing with all his stuff?
I think he's getting close to a C note.
Oh, wow.
Damn, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Eddie's doing very well. Very well.
So who's he training with? He's training with like the guy that like trained Jordan or something. Like what was?
Yeah, Tim Grover.
Okay.
He's been in the office a bunch. I haven't spoken with him really outside of hello. But it's not. It's like many like Tracy McGrady's trainer, Jordan, a ton of guys. Kobe.
Wow. Okay.
But I think it's more like he's telling him what to do from afar. I don't think Ed's like going in and running gassers with him right now.
That'd be awesome if he was, though.
It would be funny.
Be like, here, go do a lap. Oh, I'm sorry, you're a podcast guy. Here, ask this guy 6 questions real quick. Then go over there and ask him 7. That'd be funny. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. I haven't seen him recently because you haven't invited us over to the office to hang out anymore. That's cool.
You guys have an open invite.
I
that.
know.
You know what it is, MSS? I invite myself when I go over there. So next time I invite myself, I'll let you guys know. You and Treasy will have reasons you can't go, and then I'll fucking go up there and hang out with these guys. And
I always have a reason to not.
Last time I went up there by myself, Dave and Eddie gave me cannolis. I was eating cannolis in their kitchen.
Yeah, and then Carl tried to give you COVID.
He did actually try to give me COVID.
Have you had COVID yet?
I'm a COVID ninja.
He's
I'm a
not
COVID
had
ninja.
it.
And actually, my wife and daughter, my daughter just got over it, so she just tested negative. My wife still is testing positive. I'm still a COVID ninja, Dave. Nothing. Zero.
It's
I'm
such
holding
a
out,
weird
baby.
fucking disease, man.
I made
trying
it
not to
until
get
the
it.
beginning of this month. The beginning of this month was the first time I had it.
I've had it twice. I mean, that's probably to be expected. I had it twice.
Yeah, I've had it once.
I was fine. The second time was like absolutely nothing, really.
After I hung out with Carl, I got COVID.
I was gonna say my daughter got through it really quick. She had a couple days where she felt like shit, and then like today,
Yeah, the
she's
younger
bounced
you are,
off the
the
walls.
easier it
Yeah,
is.
the kind of the easier it goes through. My wife is actually she's fine too. She has a bunch of energy. She's still coughing a little bit, but she seems
The
fine
worst
too.
thing
So.
about it for me by far and away was it felt like someone took a bat to my lower back. I was so fucking sore. But my lungs, stomach, head, like no congestion, no nothing. I was just like crazy cold sweats, and my body aches were like outrageous for like 36 hours maybe. And then after that, I was 100% fine. Took like 2 days for me.
It's just crazy. It's wild how like it's the same thing and everybody has a different
Experience
version
with
of
it,
Like
right?
everyone has like a different symptoms and it's like all over the place. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And speaking of crazy, Dave, I'm going to ask you a question here that is kind of crazy. Let's say we are going for it. We're doing a little bit better going into the trade deadline. Who's your number one trade target going into the deadline?
I haven't even thought about this because you look at the Sox minor system, and Colson Montgomery has been
He's a stud.
the only good part of this summer. Maybe he might be like a dude, but they don't have anybody outside of him that any teams would really, really want for like the guy to put you over the top.
Right.
So are you trading him?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Right. And
I mean,
then what can you get?
I'm not adding to this team aside from like a couple lefty bats that'll be cheap, But
It's tough because Colson Montgomery in 2 years might be fucking Corey Seager on your roster.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nervous
and
to
you
try to
know
trade
that's
him.
going to happen too if they do decide to trade him. Like,
Yes.
Exactly.
what are they? 4 games under right now? If they should not be looking to mortgage anything of any relevance, I don't think, at the deadline. Like maybe a couple fucking like maybe trade Joe Kelly or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. There's no good answer for it. I think you just probably got to roll the dice with what you got, and if they don't make the playoffs, you guys should all they deserve spankings in the public courts.
I don't disagree with the point though of finding some cheap left-handed bats out there. There's got to be some available. I mean, every bad team has some guy that can hit the ball. And since we'll put anyone in the outfield, we could just put him there.
Yeah, that's true.
Beef, you got another question?
I would not be surprised if they dealt Gio, but that's selling low.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think that's the problem.
In the other direction, if it's like it's crapping out, and if you're going to sell, I mean, Gio is the piece. Gio's the piece. If you're like, okay, who's expiring, who's getting out of here? If you want to change the roster, though, in my opinion, the piece to sell is Dylan Cease. If you trade Dylan Cease, you can get some guys in here who will adjust this roster in a way like we were talking about earlier, Dave, where you're like, you got to get Abreu off here and you got to remake this outfield and kind of make it right. You could do that with Dylan Cease. I think you could probably do it with him, but that's a big thing to give up. Like, who wants to do that?
Man.
Beef, you got another question?
I got two other questions. They're kind of similar. So if I can
fire them off.
And then we can go around and then I can come back. So the first one for Dave, MSS and I saw Big John the Mailman last year at the Sox 5K. Okay, his son was running the 5K. He saw us. He came over, his bullshitting or whatever. He likes hanging out with the 108ers because he's kind of like the 108ers. It was like 10 a.m. in the morning, and MSS thought that Big John smelled like vodka. Now Big John better than we do. Does Big John always smell like vodka, or do you think he was hitting the vodka early in the morning on a Saturday? He was off that day. He was off of work.
I'm assuming that was residual vodka smell.
That's just his essence pouring out of him. Okay, it's not he hadn't hit it at that morning. Maybe
I have no idea what his last name is, but I assume it ends in a ski. There's vodka just pouring. Like, that's his sweat,
That's how he sweats. Yeah, that's okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. MSS wasn't sure. He thought maybe he had a couple nips and was a little upset he didn't share with us because we're obviously out there hanging out. We're not going to run the 5K. We're walking it. No. So it's like, it would have been cool if he'd give us a little nip. But
Dave, you're going to do the 5K with us? You want to come do that?
Sure.
Me and Ken W.O. August 7th, I think it is. It's Saturday.
What else is August 7th?
I don't know. Probably
on your calendar. I don't know.
I think I got a concert or something on. I mean, if it's in the morning, that should be fine.
It's early. We'll talk. We'll talk because Ken W.O. thinks he's going to do it. We can get some other people from White Sox Twitter. We'll get it. What is it?
I'll tell you guys off air because.
He's like,
boy.
He's like,
I like it. I like it.
He's like, Barstool bought the factory on the way to Indiana. They're reopening it, and that's the grand opening day. Come check out our strip club. It's awesome. I have no more questions. So, Loaf, if you want to go number 2.
Finish it off, Loaf.
Blast the last one? Okay, it's kind of a similar question. I apologize. You had a very infamous run-in with goofy-ass John Cusack. And I got to ask this because I'm totally interested. What did the Q smell like? Did you get a little essence off him? Has he got good breath? Is he like smell like patchouli oil? Like, I'm kind of interested. You guys were like, face to face there.
Yeah, we were face
You had to like ingested some of it. I'm interested in how people's entire essences. What kind of smell did you get off of a Q?
I didn't really get any smell. I was just so taken aback from because like everybody says I shouldn't say everybody. Like many people say he dunked on me and like you accosted him. There was a video when he was at Wrigley Field when some random kid, I've met the kid a couple times out in public, just random spots, where after I banned Cusack, he showed him the list and he's like, hey, you're banned. And John Cusack rolled with it and he flicked off the camera. He's like, no, I'm not. And he was like laughing about it. So I was walking up to him to show him that, hey, I'm the actual guy that made the list. Like, you're banned. Like, you can't be here. But in like a total lighthearted, ball-busting manner. And then he got like super aggressive about it. And I was like, whoa. John Cusack's like nose with me. And he's like 6'3", obviously. So it's like the angle, it's like looking down at me,
He's 6'3", but he ain't kicking no one's ass. He's going to get his ass kicked.
No. So I didn't know this until afterwards. He's a double black belt with 3 or something in kickboxing. Fuck, and you know that Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
The actor?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I've spent time in Mexican prisons where some of the scariest guys on earth, like I've met them and looked them in the eye. And he's like, I've seen John Cusack pissed off, and I've never seen fear in someone else's eyes other than when John Cusack induced that fear into their eyes. Like he's got a loose cannon apparently.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo is. I mean, he probably went home and laughed about that later.
I was gonna say, I mean, I believe you, Dave, but I just can't look at him and think this guy is scary. He's going to whoop some ass.
I wasn't afraid he was going to hit me or anything.
Kickboxing, sport of the future. That's all I wanted to throw in there.
I actually got into MMA in the last 8-9 months or so. It's actually a ton of fun. But yeah, that's the whole Cusack story. I wasn't looking to be a dick, but then I ended up just being a dick because I'm an idiot.
I did it earlier in the podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you saw me do it where you did the hands up and you're like, ooh, that's that you did a good ooh.
Oh,
it's like both. Ooh. Yeah, no, it's great. it is set off so much. I mean, you were also saying you have so many haters. I can only imagine the amount of haters the 108 would have if we had as many followers as you do, Dave. If we had 83,000 followers, we'd be getting roasted on a daily basis. I would have quit this a long time ago. I'd be I don't need this fucking hassle. I don't want to be involved in this shit. I just want to make some funny T-shirts.
You guys are so perfect at what you do, at being the conglomerate for White Sox fans. And anybody, and I know there has been stragglers out there because that's the internet. You're not going to bat 1,000. But
yeah,
if anybody dislikes you and tries to actually be dicks to you instead of just being us busting balls being dicks to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even pay those guys attention, but there's people, I get it daily, obviously. And sometimes it's hard to ignore, you just got to back. and I don't work for a buttoned up company, obviously. So I can do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Button down.
It's encouraged.
Yeah.
How's Ace doing? That'll be my last question.
Sleep on the couch right next to me.
Good job, Ace.
Oh, beautiful.
Don't shit everywhere tonight. Don't get a parasite again.
Don't eat no edibles, okay? Stay away from those edibles.
No edibles.
The fuck? We can't have that again, right?
He's hungry. Leave him alone.
It's not his fault, but he did. Okay, you should know better.
It was enough to get an elephant high. That was her quote. And he was a 40-pound little, he was a malnourished rescue dog at the time.
Explains why he's still sleeping. That's good.
That's how the dispensary should be set up. There should be what animal would this get high? There should be this will get an elephant high, but that's where I want to go. All right, Dave, man, I appreciate you coming on. We all do. Thanks a lot for joining tonight. I can't wait to see you in the park. It's been a while since we sat and enjoyed a game together, so hopefully we'll do that soon.
I was at the Dead this past weekend. Unbelievable concert, by the way, the best I've ever been to.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I was on enemy territory, but
better than Atlanta's more set.
And shit too.
Well, I'm sure we'll make it happen soon. We'll catch up. Dave, thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, man.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks,
later,
Dave.
guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
Always a pleasure.
All right, fellas. It's time for some thank yous. Let's get those going. Oh, wow. This isn't working.
No, it worked.
It worked. Yeah.
Did it? Oh, wow. It didn't show up for me.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's been really buggy tonight. It's been really buggy.
StreamYard's
there
been
we
a little
go.
Goofy.
For me, it works now.
Yeah.
All right. My Suck Summer. What are you thinking?
It's great seeing everyone, friends and family, the 108 last week from the comfort of Beeflo's seat at the park. It was great. I had a great time with everybody, and I can remember most of it. And thanks for everyone that keeps showing up to the park and just hanging out with us, because that's the fun stuff, that's what we really enjoy that, and that's why we started this, because we were in the depths of a shitty rebuild, and it was bad times. So now we're in bad times too, and the 108 is there for you, and you're there for us. So we appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Wow.
Love it. Beef, who are you thinking?
I'm going to thank my man, Brewhand Luke, who has absolutely been fucking crushing the blog game. So if you've been missing out on his blogs, he's been turning out a bunch of stuff, funny stuff, interesting stuff, beer stuff, everything. Go to FromThe108.com, read up on a bunch of his stuff. He just recently did an interview of a bunch of people trying to figure out how we can get that shortcut opened down
Gotta
the
get
Cape
back
because we got to get that open. What the hell is going on there? He's working on it. He didn't come to a full conclusion, but read the blog and play along with it. Maybe you can help him out. Maybe you can see what he did and help him do some more. But Brew Luke's been absolutely crushing it. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Hey, Chirizi, put up the ad that people can, the QR code that people can click on. Do you have that saved or no?
I do.
Sweet.
Somewhere.
Put that up. You go on to this guy. We made this little guy here. You can click on it, and he puts it right in, puts you right to our link tree. You can go to all the different places. You can buy shit, read shit. You can read Luke's blog. It's great.
Is that
Good
up
time.
there for
It's
the rest
Oh,
of
right,
them?
put it right up in the corner.
How small it is.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know if that's gonna work, bud.
It didn't save in the right spot.
Let me try to get my phone out.
Okay,
see if I can get
it's my bad. It's my bad. I shouldn't have brought it up without talking.
There you go. Oh, now I got to get rid of the other one.
Get the one out of the corner.
I got it. I got
It does work, though.
We're late in the
It does
night.
work.
I was not
Good
prepared
though,
to do this.
man.
I was able to use my phone. I was able to pop it up.
That's
So
hot.
we're Gucci.
So hot. Treasy, who are your thank yous?
Not you. I will. Although
Sorry, I'm trying to get people to spew our shit.
I was going to thank the red shirt that saved your life. I think I still will for him getting you out of the ocean that you had fallen into. I want to thank him personally. But no, I want to thank again to echo what you were saying, My Suck Summer. All the people still coming out to the park, hanging out with us. Some of these nights, that is the only good thing about getting out there. So
Yes.
we appreciate it, and we love seeing you out there. And we will see you very soon. But of course, if you're listening to this on the audio version, there's still a bit more to come. So we'll catch you in a second, and everyone else, we'll see you at the park.
Hey.